Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Freie, your personal identity coach. And tonight, our topic is your service to others. So, this is one that I am pretty excited about. I get very happy about service to others. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about your service to others and what that means. So as you are coming in live, or if you are watching this in the replay, make sure that you say hello to me so that I can greet you properly. If you are live, just go ahead and say hello as you come in. If you're in the replay, use the hashtag replay and let me know where you are joining me, where you are watching me from tonight. So, your service to others. How are you helping and serving other people? Now, sometimes when we think about our service to others, a lot of times we think about, well, I don't really have anything to offer, right? So I want to kind of debunk that myth a little bit for us tonight. Hey, Tim, it's so good to see you, my friend. Tonight, we are talking about your service to others. And, again, a lot of us sometimes kind of sit down and think, I don't really have anything to offer. I don't really serve, right? Because sometimes we think about service as in, people who are in ministry, or people who are, working in homeless shelters, or people who work in food banks, do that real kind of human service type of thing where you're actually taking care of other people. So when we're talking about service, yes, those things are included. But I want you to think more along the lines of, what is your contribution to the betterment of humanity? What are you contributing? And this can look like a lot of different things. Think about, for instance, your occupation. Are you a nurse, a firefighter, police officer, right? All of those, we think about those in the like the service world. Even mechanics and plumbers, they're performing a service, things of that nature. So your occupation certainly could be a place where you are serving and you are giving back and you are helping other people. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually, when you really break every occupation down, it really does circle back around to service. So I actually had a long, thoughtful discussion about that at one point. Tim, you're a firefighter. That is amazing. First of all, thank you, because that is an incredible job and it is highly dangerous. And I totally commend you for stepping into that role and for keeping people safe in your community. So thank you for that. So as we're thinking about, again, your occupation, oftentimes that is a place where we serve. But let's take it deeper than that. All right, let's take it deeper than that, because your occupation, while yes, that is your trade, yes, that's normally what you get paid to do. I want you to think about how you contribute to others and serve others personally outside of your occupation. How do you serve the people around you? How do you serve, again, the whole of humanity? And I know that seems like a really big thing, right? How does one person serve the whole of humanity? Well, one person at a time. That's the key. Like, you don't have to be on stage in front of, thousands and thousands of people, giving this life-changing scenarios and advice and, changing like whole auditoriums full of people's lives. You don't have to be in that space to have an impact. It can be with the person sitting right next to you. It can be with your spouse, with your significant other, with your child or children, with your friend, with a family member, with a complete stranger. Your service to others comes from within you. It comes from your heart. And it looks different for a lot of people. But actually, just earlier today, I had an amazing coffee chat with a woman who is in my group. And she and I was asking questions of the women in my group. I'm getting ready to launch a challenge, so I wanted to get their feedback and their input to see what would be meaningful to them. And from that conversation, she started to share a little bit about her own personal journey with me. And I thought, one, like, that is amazing. It is really difficult for some people to open up and share. So one, that is amazing. So I commended her for that. And I said, hey, do you want to jump on like a coffee chat, right? Just let's chat. I'd love to know more about you, because I love people, right? Me, the introvert, but I love people. Like, I really do have a heart for people. And so, but from that conversation, we were on for maybe about 30, 45 minutes. But from that conversation, she and I both gained so much out of it just from having a conversation. And again, this is not like a woman that I've known for a really long time, that I'm really good friends with. What came out was so beautiful. It impacted her and it impacted me. And how did that happen? Well, because one, she was open enough to share a little bit with me. And two, I was receptive enough and then turned back around and said, hey, do you want to talk a little bit more? It's that service of a listening ear. So again, as we're talking about how do you serve others, what is your service to others? It doesn't always necessarily have to be a more or less physical service, right? You don't always have to be like giving something. You don't, a tangible, physical, whatever, you don't always have to be doing something like that. Sometimes your service, the service that has the greatest impact, is simply being there for someone else. So I want you to think about that, because even that small chat, right? Even a small chat had a really big impact for both of us. I know I walked away from it with my heart full. It set the tone for the rest of my day, quite honestly. It made my heart feel really good. One, that here is a woman who she and I had a lot of different similar points along our journey. And so it was really nice to be able to talk with someone who has a shared experience, and that you can have a deeper discussion with someone who has a shared experience. But not only that, just her openness. I always find that to be such an incredible blessing when people allow you into their space. And that's part of the reason why I do what I do, why I spend so much of my time in service to women and to my men, right? I'm not going to discount you guys. Tim, again, if I'm speaking out of turn here, you call me out on it. But that's why I do what I do. That's why I come on here live every Friday night, right, at 8:30 to talk about different things, to share different things. It's part of my service to the betterment of humanity, because I know and I believe that the people who need to hear what it is that I have to say are going to find me. Because if I wasn't meant to stand up here and talk to you every Friday night, something would come up, something would be in the way, something would prevent me from doing it. There's just, you have to pay attention to those things in your life. When you're doing something that feels good, right? That makes you feel good on the inside. And you know that you are helping other people, and you know that you are serving other people. And again, it feels right. Do it. Don't let fear or worry or doubt or what are they going to think or any of that other garbage stand in your way. Because when you feel that alignment, you are on the right track. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You're doing the things that you were created to do, even if it's just for a season. You guys, I was actually sharing this with my new very good friend this morning. 5 years ago, you would not have seen me here. No way. I would not be standing up in front of people talking. And yes, I realize technically I'm standing in front of my laptop right now talking to the mirror, but this is live video, which is very similar to standing at a podium talking to an audience, because it's live. This isn't a recorded video that I can go back and edit out, or I can do it again, or what if I trip up over a word, or what if I don't say the right thing, or all of those things, right? It's live, so it's out there. Granted, when it's over, I can take it down if I want to, but that I would not have been here because I had a massive fear of public speaking. massive. Like, here's, for example, all right, if I had to speak in front of people, which I avoided like the plague, but I had a wonderful boss who saw something in me that I did not, and actually started putting me in positions where I would have to stand up and speak in front of people. I did not like him for that. I'm going to be fully transparent. I was not happy with him when he put me in those positions, but he was doing it so that I could grow. And so I am very grateful for that. The first time that I got up to speak in front of people, it wasn't even a huge group. It was maybe 20, 30 people. And I could feel like my whole body was vibrating. Like I was literally shaking, like my hands were shaking. My heart was like beating out of my chest. You guys, like I have like that whole, I'm fair skinned and I have whatever it is, but like the color, right? I have all that color stuff. You guys, I could feel it, like the heat rise all the way up my throat into my face. Like I was terrified. I was terrified. And I could hear the tremble in my voice. And I was just like, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. It was terrifying to me because I wasn't in the place yet where that's what I needed to be doing all the time. I was in preparation. You see how that works? Like the seasons of our lives, as we grow and as we evolve and as we learn more and do more and grow, we go through these different seasons. And that particular time in my life was not the season for me to be public. It was the season for me to start learning how to be public. Baby steps. I have a client right now that's what we're working on. Baby steps. Because massive action works really well for some things, for some people. Not even going to lie. Some people need to take massive action to see any kind of change, to see any kind of growth. I am one of those people, and this particular client is also one of those people who needs to take it step by step. I'm really good at following directions, but I need you to outline them for me, right? I need to take one step at a time. I need to ease into it. And I did the same thing with live video, right? My first live videos, you guys, I've gone back and watched them. Whoo, y'all, they're rough, right? They were rough. They weren't a background. I was holding my phone like in my hand. So it's like, the picture is like kind of shaky. And I knew what I wanted to say, but I wasn't comfortable with my own voice. I wasn't comfortable with what, with my, who am I, right? I wasn't comfortable with my quote unquote authority to share the things that I was sharing. I was still growing into it. And so now my area of service, the things that I do that constitute my service to others, it looks different now than it did 2 years ago, definitely than it did 5 years ago. So, as we continue to grow and evolve, I want you to keep that question in your mind and bring it back up periodically. Ask yourself, how am I helping and serving others? And again, yes, absolutely take that into consideration with your occupation, whatever it is. How are you being of service? How are you really helping other people in your occupation? Absolutely. But I want you to turn that inside too and look at it from your own personal life, your own personal perspective. How are you serving the people that are in your circle? How are you serving the people who are around you? How are you serving the people that come into contact with you? Are you a listening ear? Are you a kind word? Are you, a kind gesture to the stranger? Do you smile at people when you see them? I know it's kind of hard right now because we all have masks. It's kind of hard to see if people are smiling or not. I usually try to smile like uber big so you can see it up here in my eyes. And sometimes I think I probably just look like a psycho, but that's okay. Like the intention is there, right? It's coming from my heart. The intention is there. So really think about that. And one more thing that I want to share before I wrap us up and close for the night. Please do not ever believe that your gift is too small to share. That it's not big enough to make an impact. Well, Crystal, I can't speak on stage. I'm not going to be on television. I'm not going to write a book. I'm not going to do this big, grandiose thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the whole of the population, it's a really small percentage that are up on the stage, that are writing the books, there's probably more people writing the books, but you know what I mean? It's a small percentage of the people of the world. Even just here in the US, it's a small percentage of those people who have that big stage and that big platform. The vast majority of us, our gifts are here in our day-to-day lives, in how we interact with other people, in how we talk to our children, in how we speak to our spouse or significant other, in how we help our neighbor, if we help our neighbor, if we even know our neighbor, in how we show up for people, and in how we show up for ourselves. So no matter what your gift is, and believe me when I tell you, you have one, you have a lot of them actually, but you absolutely have a gift, and it's meant to be given. It's meant to share. So consider that as you're thinking about what does your service to others look like? Please, 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 if there's any thought in your mind that your gift is too small to make a difference, that you are too small to have an impact. One of my favorite quotes is, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember who said it. I usually can't remember anybody who said anything. So, whatever, charge that to my brain. My brain doesn't hold that knowledge. But it is simply, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. How massively impactful is that? You may not think it has a lot to do with, the grand scheme, but look, if we all just started there would be some massive shifts throughout the world. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to wrap us up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me live. And for those of you who are watching in the replay, again, it is just my absolute pleasure to be here with you and to spend this time with you, and for you to spend this time with me. Because again, like, you could be doing anything else in the world right now, but instead you're here watching me. So thank you. I honestly and truly, I appreciate you. I can't express how much. So remember that your service to others matters. Your gift is never too small. And if you have concerns about it, if you're worried about it, start with a baby step. Just a little baby step, and then do another one, and then do another one. Tim, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Thank you so much. All right, so guys, that is going to wrap us up for tonight. This has been another edition of Friday Night Live, and I am your host, Crystal Freie, your personal identity coach. I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. It is freezing here in South Carolina. Well, it's not actually freezing, but it's really cold. And you guys know I don't do cold. So I'm going to be hanging out inside, for the foreseeable future with the heat on. So I hope you guys have a great night, a great weekend, and I will see you all again real soon. Take care.